Ladies and gentlemen, what we're witnessing is nothing short of an economic miracle. On day 66 of President Trump's administration, the evidence is overwhelming and impossible to ignore. Egg prices have plummeted by nearly 60%. Hyundai has announced a staggering $20 billion investment in American jobs. And the president is applying the same ruthless efficiency to our economy that he's bringing to international affairs. Meanwhile, Chuck Schumer is flailing, claiming economic chickens are coming home to roost, while actual chicken prices are dropping to levels families can actually afford again. It's a perfect metaphor for how disconnected Democrats are from reality. And they predicted economic disaster. Instead, Trump delivered prosperity. And friends, this is just the beginning. So as we step into 2025, though, one thing is clear. De-dollarization is accelerating. China and other BRICS nations are scared of President Trump, making them more determined to reduce their dependence on the U.S. dollar. And what's their secret weapon? Well, it's gold. China has resumed buying gold, and they underreport their purchases. Why? They recognize gold's global value and ability to withstand economic shocks. Gold is tangible, reliable, and immune to economic manipulation. China and other BRICS countries, they want to be prepared. They just don't want it known. But this isn't just about nations. It's about you. In a world of shifting economic power, gold is your personal hedge against uncertainty. And Noble Gold Investments can help secure your financial future. So visit nextnewsgold.com. It's linked down below, or call that number 877-646-5347 to learn more and receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins with a qualified account. And we thank Noble Gold Investments for their support of this channel. Okay, we got some news here. Let's jump right into it. Here is Kara Kashyanova. She is the Gateway pundit and Lindell TV correspondent at the White House. She does a phenomenal job. Great person. I've shared the press room with her, and she got a question in today. Listen to this.
First and foremost, thank the administration for the election integrity executive order, because so many journalists for 4 years were banned from talking about this very subject. So thank you to the administration for that. My question is, yesterday President Trump, when signing the order, said that there is more to come when it comes to election integrity. Would that include same-day voting and hand-counted paper ballots? And why are Democrats so against election integrity measures like obviously proof of citizenship when it comes to voting in a United States election?
Well, it's a very good question. You'll have to ask the Democrats why they're against so many common sense things, not just mandating voter ID. Why are they against men and women's sports? Why are they against deporting foreign terrorists from American soil who have been designated a foreign terrorist organization? I'm referring to Tren de Aragua. As for the election integrity executive order that the president signed yesterday, this is in an effort to restore trust in American elections. There were more than 10 steps taken, 10 executive actions taken throughout this one order. It directs the department, or the Attorney General rather, in Homeland Security to prevent non-citizens from any involvement in administering elections. There's also another host of actions. We can provide the fact sheet for you, but it's a very strong election integrity executive order, and the president would also like to see Congress do something about this very important issue.
Yeah, they have to codify these things. And do you see this? Over in Colorado, they had a Second Amendment vote that was on the ballot. Very, very important one. But what were the legislators doing instead? Reps Lukin, Stewart, Rutinel, Clifford, Morrow, all caught playing Tetris, scrolling TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook instead of paying attention to the most radical gun ban Colorado has ever seen. Here they are. All of them caught right there. Look at them.
That means that it will form the base amount for future consideration, such that this body may never actually know in detail, without looking specifically at this line item, how much is being given into this program. So it could be the 1 million, 1.2 million that was contemplated. It could be the 9 million that I asked us to give. Really, that will all be within the JDC's hands.
Oh my goodness.
For us to consider during this long bill, but as we all know, anyone who's been in this building for any length of time, we say yes to an amendment, the JDC says no to an amendment, the JDC wins, and so whatever they decide vis-a-vis how much to fund this policy will be the decision. And again,
yeah, that's your Colorado legislature at work. We've got more, though. Secretary Scott Bessent responds to Schumer's ridiculous claim that the Trump administration is seeking to kill Social Security. That's one narrative that the left is continually trying to push, and Donald Trump has shot it down time and time again. Don't be fooled by the rhetoric and lies of the left.
From his party. Is that the goal, to kill Social Security from within, as we just heard from Senator Schumer?
Martha, first of all, thanks for having me. And clearly, no. Senator Schumer seems a little discombobulated these days. He did the right thing on passing the clean CR. Last week, he's taken a lot of shrapnel from his party, and extreme statements like this are not helpful for anyone. The American people, when they voted for President Trump, voted for accountability, and whether it's DOGE, whether it is our efforts at Treasury and the IRS, we are bringing accountability and efficiency in, and we want to make things better for the American people. We want to ensure that they get everything that they have paid in, and their benefits are there when they need them, as they need them. So, Senator Schumer is way off base here.
Way off base, like the rest of his party. Here we have more from the press secretary talking about what has happened since Inauguration Day. President Trump has secured trillions of dollars in private and foreign investments.
Since Inauguration Day, President Trump has secured trillions of dollars in private and foreign investments. Every single day, more money is pouring into our country, which will create more jobs for hardworking Americans. Today, Schneider Electric pledged to invest more than $700 million in the United States to boost American energy infrastructure and AI. On Monday, Hyundai announced a $20 billion investment in the United States, including $5.8 billion for a new steel plant in Louisiana, which will create nearly 1,500 high-paying jobs. President Trump is truly turning America back into a manufacturing superpower.
And that's the way it should be. Here we have Secretary Rollins talking about the Trump administration's efforts to combat the avian bird flu.
Talked about really President Trump in the last few years as he was making his case to be reelected for the third time for the 47th presidency. Talked about really lots of different issues, but his top two were border security and the cost of groceries and food inflation. Under Joe Biden, the cost of eggs went up 237%. And when the president took office just a couple of months ago, everyone started asking, even though they weren't really asking in the last administration, but how do we get the cost of groceries down, but especially the cost of eggs? And so we rolled out a big, bold plan. And when the day we rolled that out, we talked about biosecurity and deregulation and repopulation and importing eggs from other countries for the short term, and then the long term look at the avian bird flu, which is probably another conversation for another program. But, sir, in that time, you can see here the cost of eggs goes up, 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 up. We released the plan, big, bold leadership from the president, go fix it, Brooke. And in that time, you can see almost as you mentioned, close to a 60% decrease in wholesale price of eggs, which will soon translate to retail. So, we'll see, but we're really glad to see where it's going.
Are egg prices going to drop any further?
They should. Again, we've got multiple prongs going. We're working across the various layers. The market has reacted. We're beginning to repopulate the chickens much more quickly, working around the world to bring in eggs in the meantime. Now, we are coming close to the Super Bowl for eggs, which is Easter. Yep. So, we may see an uptick just because of the demand, but hopefully this is the long-term trajectory as this president works to bring the prices down for all Americans.
We all know this. Joe Biden sabotaged the presidency of Donald Trump in Biden's last 2 months by culling millions and millions of chickens, knowing full well that it would impact egg prices, and egg prices would then be a talking point moving into the Trump administration. And of course, right on cue, that's what we saw. Oh, look at the egg prices. Donald Trump's doing nothing, right? Well, you can see Secretary Rollins right here, laying it out. The plan is enacted, and boom, prices are dropping. So, it's just sick to see the sabotage that was done in the final days of the Biden administration. Here we have, well, what's this? President Trump clowning Representative Jasmine Crockett. Oh, this is solid gold.
And they'll never. She lies, but she's a lowlife. And she's a very low IQ person and a lowlife. And I don't imagine the Democrats are going to have a person like that running their party. If they do, and they'll never win an election again. It would be very hard. But I can't imagine she's going to last long.
And what do you think of Governor Gavin Newsom's?
You know, to be smart, you do need a brain. You know, you can't get around with little quips. And I've watched her. I've only heard her for the last couple of days, and I watched her make a speech, and she can't speak. And she truly is a low-level person on the very important chart of intelligence.
Yeah.
And really, it's nice to have intelligent people running your operation.
Yeah. So somebody you can talk to, who you could have a good conversation with.
She was a comedian. I couldn't believe she was a congressman or whatever she is. and no, I thought she was a comedian.
That's unbelievable.
And she was sort of a little bit funny, but crude. And now I find out she's actually a politician. Who the Democrats are going to suffer with this one.
Now, I'm sure you guys picked up on this, too. I mean, it sounds like Trump's got a cold, doesn't it? I mean, he doesn't sound like the same high-energy guy. Clearly, he sounds like he's got whatever's going around. I mean, there's a cold going around. Everyone I'm talking to has it. My wife had it. My kids had it. Clearly, President Trump sounds like he's got something there. But, I mean, listen, the guy sounds like he's got a cold, and he's still powering through an interview regardless. And has enough wits about him to bash Jasmine Crockett. She deserves it. Let's keep going. We got more to get to here. Here's President Trump talking about the strikes on the Houthis.
Very successful. There was nothing in there that compromised, and it had no impact on the attack, which was very successful. It was a very, very successful attack. And it's an attack that Biden should have done 3 years ago. But he didn't do it because it would have been a lot easier 3 years ago. There was nothing.
Well, Biden was too busy, eating ice cream. Here's more. Vince Coglianese, you announced another round of executive orders
to secure their. Yesterday, Mr. President, you announced another round of executive orders that included requiring states to secure their elections or they lose federal funding. That seems like a really big deal. Do you think places like California, where they've got legalized ballot harvesting, will actually comply here?
Well, I think they have to, otherwise we'll hold back funds. And we did a lot of things yesterday having to do with elections, and that's long overdue.
Yeah.
And elections have been rigged at a level like you've never seen before. You know that. I think you're a believer in that. But anybody smart is a believer in that. But they've been rigged at levels that nobody has ever seen before, and it's time to unrig them. You can't have that, and you certainly can't have it in this country.
Yeah, one of the ways that the elections have been rigged is clearly by the dishonest media and the big tech companies preventing voters from even having knowledge of what's going on in their lives. And we're looking at. I want to ask
many different ways.
Yeah,
they don't do as per the legislature, but they're also just ballot drops. Okay, we get into lots of ways, but they ballot drop. They cheat like hell. The Democrats cheat. Republicans don't cheat. Sort of a very easy thing to say, and they can't defend themselves. And we're having a lot of it when we go after law firms.
Right.
The law firms are being gone after very much, and they virtually admit they cheated. We have them in a very strong position, but there's been a lot of cheating going on.
One of the law firms
people have never seen anything like it, and we have to stop it.
Now, what's interesting is he brought up the law firms. President Trump has signed several executive orders that have stripped a lot of these law firms because they have been engaging in lawfare against President Trump and just basically pulling their security clearances, pulling their contracts, and shutting them down. Here's President Trump discussing Greenland.
We need Greenland for international safety and security. We need it. We have to have it. And it's a island that, from a defensive posture and even offensive posture, is something we need, especially with the world the way it is. And we're going to have it. And so I hate to put it that way, but we're going to have it. Modern day weapons. When you look at ships going up their shore by the hundreds, it's a busy it's a busy place, and it's really something we have to have.
Do you think the people of Greenland are eager to become American citizens?
I don't know. I don't think they're eager, but I think that we have to do it, and we have to convince them, and we have to have that land, because it's not possible to properly defend a large section of this earth, not just the United States, without it. So we have to have it, and I think we will have it.
I think we will have it. Wow. So Greenland continues to be on the table. The Second Lady is heading there now. Here's more with Fox Business on eggs prices.
Administration. Yeah, so good thing for egg lovers. Egg prices have definitely turned a corner. President Trump touting that his administration has been able to bring down the cost of eggs, with large egg prices on average down 59% since February 28th. And that's according to USDA data.
USDA data doesn't lie. Here we have the acting U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, Elena Haba, stepping up to clean up the state.
As you know, Good morning. Good morning. I'm sure you've seen President Trump has just put out a statement that he has appointed me as the interim U.S. Attorney for the state of New Jersey, my home state. As you know, I've stood by President Trump, his family, the organization, and many other clients in that state where I've been born and raised, and I'm raising my babies now. But there is corruption, there is injustice, and there is a heavy amount of crime right in Cory Booker's backyard and right under Governor Murphy, and that will stop. I look forward to working with Pam Bondi and with the Department of Justice and making sure that we further the president's agenda of putting America first, cleaning up mess, and going after the people that we should be going after, not the people that are falsely accused. That will stop in the great state of New Jersey starting now. Thank you so much.
Who are the people that you want to go after?
We'll see when I get in there. We got to see what's going in. I know you'd love that narrative. Let me be very clear. I didn't actually.
Cory Booker and Governor Murphy.
Correct, because I think Cory Booker and Governor Murphy have failed the state of New Jersey. If you look at what happened in crime, what's going on in Newark, what's going on in Camden, this has been a neglected state. It is one of the most populated states for its size, and it needs to stop. We're going to do a bang-up job. I cannot wait. It's a great honor. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Elena, do you have any more information on this U.S. attorney who died? I know she died of natural causes.
No, I do not at that time, but I do pray for her family, and I hope she rests in peace. That was tragic.
Why did you leave the White House then?
I will be leaving the White House soon and going to New Jersey to serve in my current role and my new role. I'm excited.
This isn't ahead of some statewide ambition, political ambition, or is it just
Thank you all so much. I'm excited. I'll see you in Jersey.
Why didn't you appoint you permanently?
Being coy there on that last question about if she has larger political ambitions. Here we have Chuck Schumer on the Trump economy. The economic chickens are coming home to roost.
It didn't just drop. Consumer confidence has dropped for the fourth straight month. And it didn't just drop. It's now at the lowest levels since January of 2021, the last time Donald Trump was president. Donald Trump's disastrous policies are starting to catch up with him. The economic chickens are coming home to roost. And I fear this is just the beginning.
The beginning of the end for your career. Here we have Secretary Chris Wright talking about energy.
Small modular reactor. We released, sort of a request for bids and proposals from developers in the United States for small modular reactors. The nuclear renaissance has been long talked about, but it just hasn't happened yet. We want to make it happen. President Trump was elected to make things happen. So one of the things we did from a previous draft was strip out the DEI language. Nuclear energy is about powering your homes and your businesses and the hospitals. It's not about politics or skin color or sex. It's about energy. So we're just bringing common sense back and want to get nuclear power going.
So you believe stripping out these DEI regulations will open up the floodgates or at least encourage more nuclear business from the private sector?
It will. Look, there's tons of great There's tons of great American companies that are spending private capital to develop next-generation nuclear technologies that are small, manufacturable in factories, assembled quick on location. They're safe. Everything in the world goes wrong, and the reactors just automatically shut themselves off. So there's really some great technologies, and we just want to focus on technology and energy.
What's he talking about? Small modular nuclear energy? Like, are we going to actually have, like, nuclear-powered vehicles? Like this DeLorean? Like, are we going to have, like, a nuclear reactor inside our cars at some point? Like, whoa, that's pretty cool. I don't know. But that's the first thing I thought of when I heard what he said. I want to hear what he says again. Hang on.
We released, sort of a request for bids and proposals from developers in the United States for small modular reactors.
Small modular reactors. Doc Brown would be proud. Okay, let's keep going. I want to keep my eye on that one. That's wild. What happened here? There's a woman who fell after attacking a man for wearing a MAGA hat.
You want my... Was I upset to see a woman fall? You want my honest answer? No. I shouldn't say that, but I derived a little pleasure from...
Okay, well, that looked like it was staged, personally. Okay, now we have Jasmine Crockett. Admitting that she's more focused on fighting Trump than actually passing legislation. Okay, so that means you don't deserve your elected role then, right? Goodness.
This amazing legislation.
Let's talk first about this session, some of your goals. Is there anything you're trying to pass? How much of it is going on offense? How much of it is going on defense, trying to stop the Republicans?
Trying to pass? No. I should probably be a better politician and tell you, yes, we've got all this amazing legislation that I can absolutely imagine Donald Trump signing into law, and I'm just not gonna lie. I think that right now it is about preserving our basics and.
Yeah, maybe you should have preserved that wig a little better than throwing it on the floor when you got home. It looks like it's a mess.
Getting back some of the norms that make sure that people have food on the table, the norms that make sure that people aren't going through any extra layer of stress when it comes to figuring out education for their kids. So right now, I can tell you that unfortunately, I am not working towards very much that I would consider being the progress train. I am working to make sure that I can minimize the regress train right now. And I think, and I hope that my district appreciates that I am being honest with them.
Let's talk first about
You're being honest with them? Sure you are. Okay, we got some more news to get to in this segment. Let's take a look at what's going on with national security. Pete Hegseth on the case. Under Biden, we let our troops and ships get shot at.
We also have seen it on full display in what's been done to the Houthi terrorists and what they're trying to do to close freedom of navigation. You see, under the Biden administration, we let our troops and our ships, and both warships and commercial ships, get shot at to no consequence. What does that look like? That looks like weakness. And what President Trump has said is, peace through strength is back. We will reestablish deterrence. That's not acceptable. And our ongoing campaign against the Houthis has been devastatingly effective.
And here we have more from the press secretary. We're not going to be lectured about national security.
In the main, we are not going to be lectured about national security and American troops by Democrats in the mainstream media who turned the other cheek when the Biden administration, because of their incompetence, left 13 service members dead in Afghanistan, and not a single person in the previous administration was held accountable for that botched withdrawal. Joe Biden said, in fact, it was a great operation. That is despicable. It's unacceptable to this president and this Secretary of Defense. The National Security Advisor has taken responsibility for this inadvertent number being added to the messaging thread. But above all, we take the lives of our troops, safety, security, prosperity around the globe with the utmost seriousness.
Now, that press conference today, it was a mess. The mainstream media continuing hammering the talking points. But let's go over to the hearing that was with FBI Director Kash Patel talking about expelling and extraditing FBI's most wanted.
Should have been doing all. Director Patel, there was a specific accusation made about how close we are working with Mexico currently. My understanding, and I want to congratulate you on this, and I think it shows a shift of focus at the FBI since you've taken over to what it should have been doing all along, which is chasing the 10 most wanted that are threatening our country. My understanding is that 2 of the 3 were actually arrested in Mexico and are being extradited back to the United States. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We have been working. One of the first meetings I took as FBI director was my counterpart, Secretary Farouche in Mexico. And subsequent to that, we have repaid or extradited or expelled from Mexico 2 top 10 of the FBI's most wanted list and 33 other criminals.
Well, it sounds to me like we're working closer with them today than we have in the last several years, and that the focus of the FBI has shifted to actually protecting American citizens instead of arresting pro-life protesters.
Our mission is to find violent criminals wherever they are, and if they're in Mexico, we're going to get them.
Director Patel.
I'm not going to say anything about the 2 people sitting behind Mr. Scott at all. Okay, let's keep going. Here's more from the FBI director talking about the drug seizures and narcotic interdictions.
Particularly on my priorities at the FBI have been to partner with state and local law enforcement in ways that we have not done so before, particularly on information sharing, and it's a 2-way street. And in order for us to effectuate drug seizures and narcotics interdictions in the 50 states, we treat them as all border states because that's what's happening. We have an American citizen die of a drug overdose every 7 minutes. That is wildly out of control and unacceptable. But the FBI cannot do that mandate and secure the American people from Washington, D.C. So we're putting resources in the field. We were working with our partners at the state and local level. And we are seeing immediate results, as we are seeing in Arkansas, as I outlined yesterday, with hundreds of arrests, thousands of pounds of narcotics seized, dozens of weapons, and multiple indictments.
Wow. Dude, that guy's on point. Here's Tulsi Gabbard on the Iran-backed terrorists.
Military withdrawal. Iran will likely continue efforts to counter Israel and press for a U.S. military withdrawal from the region by aiding, arming, and helping to reconstitute its loose consortium of like-minded terrorist actors, which it refers to as its axis of resistance. Although weakened, this collection of actors still presents a wide range of threats, including to Israel's population, U.S. forces deployed in Iraq and Syria, as well as U.S. and international military and commercial shipping and transit.
She's not messing around either. She's laying it down. Here she is doing some more.
While some of these key drivers of migrants are expected to persist, heightened U.S. border security enforcement and deportations under the Trump administration are proving to serve as a deterrent for migrants seeking to illegally cross our borders. U.S. Border Patrol apprehensions along the southwest border in January 2025 dropped 85% from the same period in 2024.
Okay, let's keep going. We've got some more, I believe, in this segment. Let's go check out what J.D. Vance is up to.
No more quotas, no more ridiculous mumbo jumbo, no more diversity trainings. We believe the real strength and the real diversity in the United States Marine Corps is that you all come from every walk of life, come from every corner of America, and you have got the strength and the purpose to win the nation's wars. And that is what the Marine Corps is going to do, just like it's done for damn near 250 years.
Yeah, let's go, baby. He's at the Marine Corps base in Quantico, Virginia. Okay, we got some more. Vice President, a veteran of the USMC himself, receives a thunderous welcome. Listen.
Hurrah, Marines, how we doing?
That's so awesome. Here's Lance Corporal Casey Bonstro on Vance's visit.
To be a Marine is to be a Marine. Honestly, I'll just touch on the fact that the Vice President was a Marine in the first place. It's interesting to me because at the end of the day, to be a Marine is to be a Marine. We all went through boot camp. We all went through the same thing. So to know that we have a leader in the White House who's been in our shoes and have experienced the same things that we have experienced is super motivating. I know at the end of the day, he was willing to get down and dirty for our country and the same thing that we are. So at the end of the day, the fact he's come in, taking his time to talk to us, it's amazing. And have a leader who's willing to do that, it's really cool to see. Awesome. Honestly,
people love Vance. Here's some Marines waiting for him.
so can you guys share how you feel about the vice president coming today?
Very excited.
Yeah? Okay, what about you? We'll start with you. Why are you excited for Vance to come here today?
I'm just excited because I've worked here for 3 years and I just love being here. So.
Yeah? What about you? What do you think of the VP coming?
Very excited to be the vice president in my uniform in the Marine Corps.
Yeah? What does it mean to you that the vice president is a Marine?
It means a lot because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Not everybody gets to meet someone like him.
Yeah. What about you?
It's definitely going to be a breath of fresh air, to have a Marine that's going to be, second in charge. So super excited for that.
And you?
Love to see the Marine Corps representing the United States and having a cool in the White House.
Yeah. How does it?
You know what else is interesting is, do you think that Kamala Harris ever got a welcome like that? No. But when she went to her, LGBTQ plus celebrations and discussed the billion genders, they cheered for her there, but not these Marines. So that's what we got for you right now. The numbers, though, they don't lie. Well, Democrats predicted economic catastrophe under Trump. We're seeing the exact opposite. Billions in new investments, energy prices stabilizing, manufacturing returning to American soil. The Trump administration is methodically dismantling the regulatory nightmare left behind by Biden and Harris. And businesses are responding with confidence. Even Trump's critics on Wall Street can't deny what's happening. Just yesterday, Secretary Chris Wright, he announced the removal of DEI requirements for nuclear energy applications, judging them solely on technical merit. I mean, that's the difference between the two parties in a nutshell. Merit versus identity politics. Results versus rhetoric. Success versus failure. So the question becomes unavoidable. Answer it in the comments. If Trump's policies are creating this much economic growth in just 66 days, what does it say about the last 4 years of Democrat leadership? Show your support for America's economic comeback with some Next News swag in our merch shop. It's linked down below, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.